What in the fuck is up, y'all? It's your boy Winston motherfucking Wolf. I'm back. I want to do a quick review on the new Mortal Kombat animated film called Scorpion's Revenge. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because it's called Scorpion's Revenge doesn't mean the whole movie's about him. Which I was kind of disappointed to find out because I thought this was going to be kind of like a little side story, kind of, focus on him and, of course, anything having to do with Scorpion, you got to have Sub-Zero because they're kind of intertwined together. But I was kind of hoping it was going to be a story just primarily concerning them two. It wasn't. It's your typical Mortal Kombat story. It follows the usual suspects: Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Raiden, Liu Kang, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. But Sub-Zero, to be honest, he probably is in it the least out of all the main characters. You have Shang Tsung, you have Goro, you have Jax in it for a quick second. But pretty much it's the same story that you've seen over and over and over again. There's a tournament, kind of like Enter the Dragon, the movie by Bruce Lee, in a faraway place on an island, and they got to go there, and the stakes are high, and it's the same Mortal Kombat story that you've had over and over and over again, which I'm kind of disappointed, because I kind of wish that they would go the Mortal Kombat 11 route, like how they did with the video game, where you had their older selves, and they would run into their younger selves, and the younger selves would be like, Jesus Christ, this is what I turn out to be when I get older, and the older selves are like, yeah, quit being a dickhead. It just took it in a different dimension, or a different direction, and a different dimension, fuck it, But yeah, I kind of wish they would have did something else with it. But then the more I started looking at it, the animation quality is kind of that subpar quality that they've been having for a lot of their, like the last really good looking Warner Brothers / DC animated, because I'm going to put this in with the fucking DC animated movies, because it's pretty much, you could tell it's done by the same people. But the last good looking one was the Flashpoint Paradox. That was the one where I remember actually, like when you watch something that's animated really well, there's points throughout your viewing experience where you would just stop like, man, this is animated fucking good as fuck, god damn. And that was like the last one where there was a few times I stopped and I was like, man, this is really good. Ever since then, they've kind of done this kind of fake anime, like Americanized anime, where you could tell they're rushing through it. And again, it's probably not the animators' fault. They probably want to do a good job, but because of time constraints, because of budget constraints, they probably can't do what they want to do. So they've found it like a certain style that they can do with the quickness. And this pretty much is that same style. But there are some like really bright points. If you remember in Mortal Kombat 10 and 9, I think it was, how they had the X-ray thing. So if you punch somebody in certain situations, they kind of went to an X-ray mode where you could see their skull. Look like through an X-ray, you could see it busted and everything. The first time this was ever used, honestly, was back in the old Street Fighter movie starring Sonny Chiba. It's the first time I've ever seen that in a movie, which is crazy because that movie's called Street Fighter, and then they use it in Mortal Kombat. So I don't know, just kind of a weird coincidence there. But that whole X-ray thing that they used in Mortal Kombat 9 and 10, they used this at least 30 times in this, and I'm not mad at it because it adds something. It's a cool little gimmick thing that they add to the cartoon, where like if someone's getting their skull crushed, all of a sudden they'll zoom in, you'll see their skull like an X-ray picture getting crushed or whatever. Or if their arm is getting ripped off, it'll go in an X-ray and you see the ligaments snapping and the bones snapping. So that's kind of cool. It's not just your average, oh, he's breaking his arm or whatever. It just adds a whole nother element to it. Also, what was the other thing that they added into? Oh, they have pretty much fatalities. They do that, and then they have like a little quip, a little saying afterwards. Kind of like Arnold in the In the 80s movies, pretty much all the 80s action stars had a little phrase that they would say after they fucked somebody up or killed them. So they add that in there, so that makes it kind of cool. But I will say, again, yeah, judging by the animation, you could tell this is going to be a backdoor movie to a series. Because you could tell they didn't want to go too nice with the animation and then have the series come out and have them be like, wait a second, why in the fuck is the animation so good in this movie, but then the series, it sucks? So you could tell they want to keep some continuity with it. So the animation, don't get too overhyped with it. The story, it's the same story over and over again, which also leads me to assume that this is going to lead to a series, because this is the whole beginning of the story. It's them meeting, it's them going to the tournament, there's a few fights, but it ends on a definite to be continued, ends on a definite, oh, okay, this isn't the end of the story. So there's still more coming. I think this is gonna be, I hope not a series of movies if the quality of animation is like this. Again, it's not completely fucking terrible, but you would just figure from a big studio, they got money, they got means, they would come up with a little something better than this. So definitely gonna get a fucking TV show. It's a lot violent, a lot more violent than I thought. And I know people are gonna be like, watch, they're gonna be like, oh, it wasn't that violent. This anime, blah, blah, blah. Well, sorry, excuse the fuck out of me. I don't watch every fucking anime. So if you got some suggestions for some super violent shit, yeah, just fucking send it to me. If not, shut the fuck up. But this was pretty violent. It's more violent than I expected. But I would give it Mortal Kombat, Scorpion's Revenge. Let's see, got adding different factors. We're on lockdown. The whole world is dying of COVID-19, so they say. Stuck in the house. Rainy Sunday. I give it 2 dog bones. I give it 2 dog bones. That's being fair. Alright? So fuck off. And I like Mortal Kombat, so I'm not even fucking, I don't have a fucking bone to pick with it. I just didn't think it just lived up to expectations. But it's your boy Winston Wolf. Like I say, if you don't have anything better to do and you like Mortal Kombat, check it out. You know what I'm saying? But don't expect to be blown the fuck away. It's alright. It's your boy Winston Wolf. I'm out.